Alright guys, sorry for that delayed start. I didn't realize my mic was muted. But anyways, this is Stealth from Stealthheart Gaming here, bringing you a Starcraft 2 video. That is not mine. This was sent to me by a fan, or I don't want to say a fan, but probably someone that would like someone to critique their play, if you will. I've been communicating with this guy for the past week or so. He finally sent me this replay, which, as you guys probably saw, like, oh, sweet, another ZVT. This has got to be Stealth versus some guy. It's not. I hate to ruin your hopes and dreams, but it's not with me. It's one of my fans, as previously stated. This video, as you can see, is about 50 minutes long, so I will speed up, slow down. I will go past the slow parts because I have watched this all the way through already. I know the points I want to make. I know what I should say, all that stuff. Before I get into this, I want to say one quick thing. For the remainder of these videos, I'm probably going to make some sort of logo to go here, just to block this out, because I really don't like having to minimize this and me not knowing how long it's in it. But, yeah, I don't know. I may or may not do that. That may be try hard or fanboy, if you will, by some people. I know some will say that. And one more thing, this will only take half a minute, if that to say. I will do your guys' games. Just send them to me to my Gmail, which is stealthheartgaming@gmail.com. You can send those to me. I will do recordings on those. I will analyze them. I will cast them. I will do what you want. However, all I ask is that if you will allow me to do a video, I will help you with your games. So without further ado, we are going to pop right in this. And I know some of you guys are going to say, oh, well, you're bronze. What can you do? Derp, derp, derp. Well, I may be bronze. Actually, I'm pretty close to silver at this point, and actually, I'm not getting the best frame rate right now. But I'm hoping that clears up. Probably because I'm rendering a video as we speak. So it's probably not a good idea for me to record such a highly intensive game, but I'm probably going to get trolled for saying like I can't help people if I'm in little leagues. I do watch a lot of Day 9 Husky. I watch a lot of pro stuff. I watch a lot of streams, tournaments. So I do know what to do. I just never play online to actually utilize those skills, if to say the least. So we have, I believe this is on the European server, because I was gonna do some practice games against this guy, but European, there's no inter-server games. If that makes sense. Anyways, we have Babrace as our blue Zerg spawn in the top left, followed by PhantomBlack, our red Terran, in the bottom right. I was going to make this an analysis video until I saw it was 50 minutes in length, and I'm just going to analyze it as I see it. Just for time's sake, we are going to fast forward past all this beginning. You just see basic stuff, him getting a barracks, spawning pool. This is actually a really early spawning pool. I want to make a point already. You're at 8 supply. You got a pool. I don't care if you're going for a 6 pool. Is that a 6 pool, actually? I don't know if that's a 6 pool. Roughly a 6 pool, maybe an 8 pool, but if you're going to go for that, it is cheese. I don't like cheese. I don't like casting with cheese, but I will still cast it. I'm only casting because the game has an extra, 46 minutes on it. If I saw the game end, I probably wouldn't cast it, in all honesty. But, what was I saying? Alright, this is a relatively early pool. If you were, let's say, go for a 6 pool or something like that, it would be smart to cut drones, but whatever. I'll continue playing. You'll see what happens with this. We see these links pop. I'm going to slow it down when they get about halfway through the map. I am slowing this down, though. He does get sight on a proxy barracks, which I probably could have said that before. So you got cheese going for both ways. You got a little 6, 8 pool action or something going on. We got some proxy barrack action going on. Gonna speed this up some more because not much is going on. I'm sorry, there's a lot of downtime in this game. So these things do work their way in the base. He doesn't have much to defend, so it was probably smart of him to lift off. But yeah, he lifted off. He forced the Terran to take off, but a 1. I'm sorry, but he's going to mention something here that I really want to point out and make fact, which I'm going to lag a lot because I'm fast forwarding this. So, gonna stop doing that. Let's fast forward it a little bit more. This is very graphic intensive right now, especially if I go with ×8. Oh man, look at those frames go. Oh wow, I'm actually keeping it steady. I don't believe I missed it yet. No, I didn't. But, alright, let's say you're a Terran in this situation. You had to lift off. We're going at ×2 speed right now. You lifted off, and now you're at another base with about half your SCVs. What do? Well, you basically do what this guy does. Now, if you're in a worse... Here, okay, I'm going to pause it. If you're in a worse position, let's say at no SCVs, I would not do this because you're basically too far behind. But, we have a little bit of smack talk going on here. In my personal opinion, there's no need for smack talk. There's no need for BM. There's no need for any of that. It's a game. I understand that you may get frustrated or something, but I really don't like, bad manners or something like that. That's just personal preference. That's not the point I want to make. The point I want to make is the fact that the Terran knows he lost. He's still going to try to stay in this, and obviously he stays in the game for quite a while. The other thing is that you can't say he lost. As of right now, you have the supply advantage, but he almost basically has the worker advantage. Because our Zerg player cut drones for the 6 pool, or 8 pool, whatever it was. At this point, if Black can hold... I'm just going to call him Black because it's easier, or I'll call him... I don't know what I'll call him. If Phantom could have get more workers... He is technically speaking in the lead. Yes, our Zerg player has Zerglings. Yes, he has map control. The Zerg has everything he needs to come out on top of this game. But the Terran gets a better economy. Zerg is nothing if the opponent has a better economy. So, as we see from Phantom here, he is making a few SCVs, which now I think he actually has to work. Yes, now he has the worker advantage, believe it or not. But that's kind of surprising, really, coming from a Zerg. If you're a Zerg, you never want to cut drones, never want to be floating minerals, as we see right here. Never cut drones. If you're going for a 6 pool and it fails, if you want to attempt to stay in the game, like if you did what Babrace did here, and successfully was able to... Pausing it. Successfully was able to have him pick up and fly off to another base. That is good. You successfully pull off a 6 pool. Did you kill him? No. But you stopped him from mining. However, if you can't kill him with a 6 pool, you need to drone up behind it if you plan on staying in the game. If you cannot kill him with the Ling aggression, you need to drone up. In the case we're in now, the Terran can fly off and go high in a freaking corner. He's not going to give a crap. But the thing is, the Zerg has less economy. You always want to get back to drone production if you want to, transfer out of a 6 pool. Transition out of a 6 pool, okay? If you do a 6 pool, fine. Find a way to transition out of it, okay? If you go from heavy Ling aggression, they pick up, they fly off, they go somewhere protected. Like, in this case, the Terran player could have went here. Now, granted, these things are busting down the rocks. But that's kind of a gray area. That's not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm getting at is that if you do the early Ling aggression, transition into something. Transition to heavy macro play. You always need a backup plan, and then a backup of the backup, and then a backup of the backup of the backup. Okay? If your early Ling aggression fails, okay. What can you do? You can, if you have enough drones, you can transition into roaches. You can go into a macro style game, or you can keep going with the little Ling aggression and see what you can do with it. Try to keep them up in the air. Let's say you went for the macro style. Okay, that opens up everything else basically, because you stopped his economy. You had a better economy than him for a second. That gives you a higher standard, and when you lift it off someone like this, go expand. Zerg needs to expand, and now is a beautiful time to expand. He has 500 minerals. Hell, he can triple expand if he wanted to. It's just the fact that the Zerg needs a better economy, and the Zerg is in a great position for this game. He just didn't have a backup plan. Yes, he's getting 7 drones now. I see that, okay? But he got them really, really late. That's the point I'm trying to make here. I mean, like, before those drones popped, hold on, let's go back 40 seconds in the past. Okay, 40 seconds in the past. He has 8 drones working. Alright? Now, let's wait for it. Okay, he transfers those drones. Now we have 5 drones mining minerals, alright? To his 9 SCVs mining minerals. He has the mineral advantage right now. Yes, you have gas, but you need to start working on getting the drones out faster. Granted, he did, but you should not have 8 drones at 9 minutes, okay? It's just wrong. And he asked, I actually didn't see this. I didn't see him ask, where are you? Are you floating? Apparently he didn't feel like scouting the best. If the Terran player does this, you want to scout, try to pinpoint where he is. I'm going to slow this down a bit more. Oops. There it is. I only want to do it ×2. I really didn't want to do ×4. But he's kind of trying to do what he can with the barracks. These Marines are apparently coming up here to protect, you know, the one bunker that's getting destroyed. Which for some reason he didn't cancel the bunker. Like, barracks, I mean. Just cancel the barracks. That's all you need to do. These Lings are apparently going to go after the Marines, which the Marines have the greater position here. However, the Lings still won. We have a factory coming out. So, as you could probably assume, the Terran is going to go for a very, very heavy defense style. Our Zerg player... this is the point I want to make right now. You're at 13 minutes, alright? In the Zerg game, in at least the games I play now, at 13 minutes, I have a 3rd up, maybe a 4th, if I know he's playing passive, or I know I'm in a huge lead. I will get a 4th, even. At 13 minutes, you need more than 1 base. As Zerg, in my eyes at least, if you're at 1 base for a large amount of time. There we go. If you're on 1 base for a large amount of time, you should just leave the game because you can't do anything off of 1 base as Zerg. Okay, he has 2,000 minerals banked up. Go expand. You know what he's doing. You know he can't really have an army right now. Okay, just go. You need to expand. Okay, expand aggressively if you have to, but the thing is, you need to expand as Zerg. You have these 2,000 minerals. Use them. Okay, that number keeps going up. Use your minerals. Expand. Macro hatch. Anything. Okay, you can expand. You can macro hatch, as I said. You can triple expand. You can double expand. You can quadruple expand. You can quintuple expand. I don't care. But you need a better economy than the other player. The only way you can get that is by expanding. The only way to expand is to use your excess minerals. Good job. Alright, we will continue on now after I went on my rant for the umpteenth time. So, our Zerg player responds with a little Spire action, which obviously this means Mutalisks. I assumed it was for something else, which I'm going to make this point a lot later in the game to emphasize my point even more. And then we got more BM. Really, there's no point for this. He is... Hold on, let me pause this real quick. He isn't in a better position, but he is. As far as map control goes, he has no map control. The Zerg player has more minerals. Granted, they are stocked up. As far as income goes, I'm sure the Zerg has more because their Terran is... Zerg just has more. At this point in the time, if Phantom were to do what he wanted to do, he can stay in this. He could win the game if he were to just do his build and not get harassed by these constant wing aggression. I don't know what that was. Maybe pause? I don't know. But, anyways, our Terran player isn't actually... For someone that had to lift off at the beginning of the game, he's in a pretty good position. We have the "you are about to die," and the Terran player is kind of okay with it, I'm assuming, because he probably knows that he was going to die a while ago. But, before you see it, what do you think the Zerg's force is? Do you think it's Mutalisks? Do you think it's Zerglings? Do you think it's drones? Well, we shall see. You got a handful of Lings. 12 Lings. And you got less than a handful of Mutalisks. You got 4. This is not good enough to beat this. These 3 bunkers will be more than enough to take down all those lings. Granted, he's probably can swing in back here, and I tell you for a fact, he is going to swing in back there. That is a very, very good move on our Zerg player's behalf. He is smart enough to know, come around the side, swing in, and attack his SCV line. Alright, that is insanely smart, and he does end up taking down the SCVs. Fortunately for a Terran player, he doesn't get picked off. He does not get the siege tank, though. If he got this siege tank, that would easily help our Zerg player, and he can easily clean this up with another round of lings or something. Unfortunately, though, the Terran does bunker in, which I'm actually, at this point, I was actually thinking the Terran might be able to win this. The Terran has better army, or not better army, but the Terran was able to rebuild after all that time. He has mules. He has a lot of stuff to stay in this game. Let's get the production tab back out. But, I just want to have a quote here. Babrace, when you watch this video, if I emphasize something and I seem mean about it, I'm not. I'm just trying to get the point across. Alright, that's to anyone who's watching this video. If I sound like a complete dick, okay, and I'm sitting there saying, like, you have to do this or else you're freaking retarded, you must do this, you must do this, you must know this, you gotta know this, don't even bother playing, I'm probably actually not going to go to that extent because that can be kind of mean, like, truthfully. But whenever I say something mean-ish quotes, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to help you fix the problem. Okay? I'm not trying to be like this big guy who says, like, oh, you're doing this, so I'm going to beat the crap out of you. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to kick you when you're down. If you're going to be facing a Turling Terran like this, don't go Banelings. Banelings don't beat anything. This competition right now, what do Banelings beat? Marines. Okay, that's pretty self-standard. Banelings beat Marines. Banelings do not beat Marines when they're in a bunker. Good job. They don't beat Marines when they're in bunkers. Do not build Banelings in this situation. Do not build Banelings. You could win this game from superior Muta Micro. This is Bronze. I have games recorded when I was in Bronze. I have Mutas flying all around the map. I got Mutas swinging in as I have an army swinging in from the front. You have to do double-pronged attacks against a Turling player. If the player's Turling, you need to keep him focused here as you swing in with Mutalisks, Nidus Worm, and Overlord drop, and kill his mineral line. If you kill his mineral line, kill his command center, that's an auto GG. He has to attack with what he has, and you could probably pick it off with your Mutalisks. But do not get something that counters a unit that is behind more units. Okay? Don't get Banelings if you have to break through a freaking bunker. That is just stupid. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to help. Do not get Banelings against Marines in bunkers. If he had no bunkers, fine. Get Banelings. That will help you win. This point, it's not going to help you. It's just going to take up your resources. Okay? Yes, our Zerg player has an abundance of crystal. But he has, like, no gas. Cause, what's the key word? Expand. Expand, expand, expand. We're back on this point. I want to get off the expand point. You need to expand, period. I want to get on this. You get Aspire. Okay. As a Zerg, it's hard to break a tank line with Ling, Bling, Mutalisk even. Okay? Tanks can shoot Mutalisks, but there's never going to be a siege line without Marines. Marines kill Mutalisks. Mutalisks don't kill the tanks. I.e., the tanks are still there, and you're losing. And you probably will lose. Okay? What you need in this situation are Broodlords. Most people, myself included, in-game, I forget Broodlords exist, because you have to morph this into the Greater Spire. Against a Turling Terran, a Turling player, period, Broodlords are going to be your best friend. Broodlords outrange everything besides a Viking. Okay, but then you have Corruptors take down the Vikings. All you need is just mass air. Get Corruptors, transform them into Broodlords. You can break Terran's hold on his base, and then it's GG. Okay, but we get the Baneling Nest. This was a really stupid choice. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be as nice as I can. That was stupid. We have yet another bunker coming in from our Terran player. I'm sorry if I sounded less than enthusiastic, but I know if I yell in the mic, it's gonna make everyone wearing earphones deaf. And I did see those Banelings moving out, so we will go to that. So here, he does attempt to go in. I really don't want to be mean, but that was retarded. Killing a missile turret and not anything else for the amount of Banelings you had. Babrace, I'm sorry, but that was really stupid. If you're going to attack with Banelings, you need something else. You need some sort of support unit. Pure Banelings are not going to beat a Turtling Terran. Now, maybe if you have enough of them, they will. But at this point in the game, when they're off of one base, a handful of Banelings is not going to do much. It would have been better off for him to come flying through the front door and killing off this bunker. It would have been a lot smarter for him to even attempt to take down this bunker. When this bunker goes down, okay, you kill the bunkers and the Marines aside. Heck, it would have been a go for the siege tank, but taking out one missile turret, not the best victory. Then he comes up with Mutas, try to clean it up, but he doesn't do anything with the Mutas. He did, like, nothing with them. He killed maybe a few. I don't think he killed anything with the Mutalisks. So, you really need to do that faster. Now, wait. Before someone says something, what he did, that was right. What was wrong about that, he had to do it at the same time. Okay? The Mutalisk and the Banelings. If you could have swung them in there at the same time, you could have taken down the Terran's economy, you could have taken down his army, his siege line, and opened the door for this set of Banelings. But the fact that Mutalisks were it was stuttered from the Baneling hit, it wasn't the best. And quite simply, if you could time stuff more better, if you could time stuff better, Babrace, do that. Just try to time things better. Don't attack with just a handful of Banelings. I used to do this, and it got me nowhere. You need to do some sort of coordinated attack, multi-prong, attack his back door, attack his front, drop, do whatever you can. But Banelings are not a pure assault unit. They are a support. Okay? They need something else. If you could attack his front with the Banelings, you swing your Mutas, depending on what he focuses on, he can't protect from both. He has missile turrets, yes. If you have enough Mutas to kill those missile turrets, which you could, if you use this 3K to expand it once or twice, then what can you do? You can win. Okay, we're on the same path right here. If I had MS Paint or some sort of paint, I would bring it up and show you guys my thought process, but I don't, and I just really don't want to bring it up and draw. What I'm trying to say is, though, is that expand. Number one thing, always expand. Even if you're in the position now, when the Terran is, you made him lift off and fly away, the game's not over. He is still in the game. As you can see, we're only halfway through the game, and I'm at a 24-minute recording. So I'm just going to keep playing. The stupid thing he does now is that he continues to attack with these Banelings and basically all them out the way that don't really even take down the bunker. This is basically, I'm going to even speed this up even more. Nothing much goes on really now. We do get a Roach Warren and Burrow from Isaac King. Oh, I am sorry. We have more Banelings, we have Tunneling Claws, we have level 1 weapons. Oh, right. I make that point. You're still 0-0. Get upgrades. You can win this game with upgrades. And you can win the game with Brood Lords. And you can also win the game by expanding, which fortunately he does a double expand. I would have preferred a triple because you're kind of in a position right now that you're not in a lead, but you know he's in his base and he's not going to be moving out anytime soon. I mean, he's really oversaturated here. You need to transfer drones especially if you're like this, because you always want to keep minerals in your main base as long as possible. In the worst case scenario, he is moving out with these roaches, which everything in the game, I really enjoyed this. What he does with these roaches is something I really don't see a lot of Zerg players do, or not enough of Zerg players do. All right. Okay. So he got in range of the missile turret. Okay, so he knows not to poke over there. All right. Good. Nice deduction. Now what he does is just simply, I never see this in bronze play. I would love to see this more in bronze play. But he takes a single roach, unburrows it, and the siege tank fire from his fire. It kills their siege tank. I never see this, ever. Even some pros I don't even know do this. All he's doing is unburrowing a roach on top of the siege tank to do the friendly fire. That's all he's doing. And he's taking down the siege line. Now granted, our Terran player's in a sensor tower, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm 99% sure sensor towers don't pick up good units. I know they show the units. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't be recording this at 3:30. They show units on the map, but I don't think they detect burrowed units. Don't do that. Don't get a sensor turret tower, because it's not going to help much. This bunker is getting killed. So he's actually spent quite a few minerals now. I'm proud of him. Sadly though, all these roaches do get cleaned up. And you're even gonna go back to faster. Because this game is basically over. As Babrace would say, you already lost. Well, so he did get sight, and PhantomBlack was smart enough to realize that our reserve player is going to go for the barracks. He now looks for the factory, which the Terran player could actually lift that off. But he doesn't. He does pull all of his drones though, and that is basically the good game. We're going to go at ×8 here so I can wrap this up insanely quickly if I can even follow what's going on here. Our Terran player is basically trying to survive. I'm sorry there's lag there, my video just finished rendering. Yeah, basically he's just trying to survive. There's not much he can do at this point. You know, he lifts off and goes to this third that is not protected. And the Terran player says GG, but the game keeps going, as you guys can see. Yeah, sorry I'm kind of blowing through this last part, but this game was over from that second roach attack that wiped out his base. There's no point to it. I probably would burrow this roach so it just regenerates health that much faster. I am sorry. I don't know why I'm yelling so much, but luckily Babrace does know exactly where he's at. But he does run into quite a commanding Marine force. At this point in the game, I was thinking like, can a Terran actually win this? Sadly though, he does come up here, and he does get killed by these, the nice surround-ish, kind of, by the Marines. He does say coup, which I believe that's supposed to mean FU, because C and F are right next to each other. So I'm assuming that means it's supposed to be FU, or I don't even know what else that could be. Do, Vu, Zu, Su, Ru, I don't know. Yeah. But either way, expand. You have 5k. Get a macro hatch here, get one here, get one here, get one here. Hell, get one here, get one there, get one there, get one there, get one there, and get one there. Doesn't matter. Get a macro hatch, spend your minerals. I'm really glad I got done with this video in about half the time I planned on it, though. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry if this is kind of a crappy game. It wasn't that bad of a game. It's just the fact the game drudged on for so long. You know, when the Terran player knew it was over, when he actually had a shot at winning. But either way, thanks for watching. As always, this is Stealth from Stealthheart Gaming here, and I'm hopefully going to bring you the last Starcraft video for at least a week or two. I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.